Welcome to the Week 8 edition of a Whole Pack of Wolves podcast. As you can tell, we have brought the crew back as we are better than ever. We got another little special guest from our intern crew this time. Dean is joining the show with us tonight. Colby is welcome back. Savannah is also back as well with us. So we are excited to talk about this week as well as the NC State Wolfpack are traveling to Berkeley this time to take on the California Bears. But we're going to talk about first, we're going to do our normal rewind. We're going to go rewind the week that was here in Raleigh. So Savannah got to come see her first game. So obviously, I'm gonna kick off the show with her and let her give her thoughts from the view of the Murphy Center from last week. So tell us what your thoughts were from that Syracuse game last week.
Yeah, good. First off, happy to be home. Obviously, that is my first game back. So being in Carter Finley is always a vibe, especially for the blackout game. I think I tweeted it, but like watching the team run out at a night game never misses, hits every time. So super happy to be back. Love watching games from the Murph. It's the perfect view. That is hill I will die on. An end zone seat is better than any other view to see the whole game develop. Yeah, it was good. It was it obviously I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning. So that's tough. But I saw some definite improvements in the offense in the sense that like, hey, we were driving that ball downfield. Now you can't fumble 3 times in the red zone, but like that ball was driving downfield. So there's definitely some positives. To be honest, I feel like people were actually not so hateful this week. So I'll take that as a win too. But yeah, it was good to be home. Bummed we lost, but I'll never not be bummed about that. So definitely saw some good things though.
It definitely was a definitely ray of hope as well this week. We got to see a lot of the younger guys making plays all over the field. It just you got to hold on to the football. So Colby, I'm gonna let you kick it off too and tell us what your overall thoughts were from last week.
Well, I woke up, the sun came up, and I didn't think it would, but it did. And I gotta say, just watching the game, it's different not having expectations anymore. You have expectations to win 10 games, expectations to have a 9-win season. Now the only expectation you have now is 8-4 maybe, or maybe a 7-5 season. 6-6 I feel like is the lowest, and then if you don't win another game, that's the lowest of the low. So it just, to me, there was a lot of improvements. I felt like our offense did okay. The turnovers have got to get cleaned up. That's something that State leads the ACC in turnovers, and it's just for a team that we used to turn people over like a bunch, like in years before, and it's just like now we lead on offense the league in turnovers. It's just it's baffling to me, and I'm just we need to focus on taking care of the ball, because I feel like you at least get points off of those drives when they turn the ball over. I feel like you at least get maybe a field goal, maybe a touchdown or something like that. You would at least get points off of those drives. And it's just we just got to clean that up, and I feel like we're right there. The defense did enough this game to try and keep Syracuse out. Syracuse really just had 2 explosive plays, and that they made some explosive drives. And I mean, they only scored 3 touchdowns, and I believe they were both passing TDs. So it's
and they were both off of turnovers.
Yeah, they're both off of the turnovers we had. So it's like, it's just, if you really think about it, you probably would only held Syracuse to 3 points if you didn't turn the ball over. And that's just, to me, it's just like, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to get that down to where we're not having those mistakes? And I get it, they're young. We have a very young team, and going into the season, we felt like we had a team that was going to be like a championship caliber team. And yeah, they have the talent, but it's so young talent. It's very raw talent. So it's, and then some of the talent just hasn't come together. So I guess expectations have dwindled, and not a lot of people were angry about this last game, but it's probably because most people are just like, if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's a very weird thing. You got the AD sending out an email to everyone about, thanking them for the support and all that. And it's weird vibes to me. And I just think that there's just got to be something that breaks for us, because I feel like we're right there. I don't think that it's a drastic, like, problem. I feel like we're right there. But I was impressed with some of the improvement, but I hope we at least look good enough to where we can have some momentum going into the bye week.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, what we talked about it last week of what was my number one goal anyway, was shutting down the running game, forcing them to be one dimensional, and that's what they did. So, I wanted to give a huge shout out to the entire defense, because I thought they played their entire butts off for the entire weekend. They played a lot better. Betty even looked better at middle linebacker versus playing outside linebacker. So losing Caden was a really tough thing, but Devin stepped up, and so did Kamal. So I've got to give them credit for stepping up last week and playing a really, really tough football. But 3 turnovers led to 3 touchdowns, and that's the difference in the game. So, we were talking offline. You go down the stat line, the team stat, and it's like NC State wins this stat, they win this stat, and they win that stat. But the 2 stats that were the most important that we always talk about here: time of possession, turnovers. Win both of those 2 things, and you're probably going to win the football game. So we didn't win those 2 things. So the 2 most important stats are coming out. So, but Dean, what did you think about when you were watching the game last week? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's one of those things where when you look at this team and you say, well, this is getting better, that's getting better. At the same time, you're also looking at one thing, and there's one new tire cone that's been thrown in front of the car that is like, well, now this is the problem we got to solve. And it's happening every single week. That you got to have every game, you start to feel better because you're like, hey, we actually look better in a lot of departments today. But now we have this one specific issue. Something that has become a major problem for this team the past couple weeks is 3rd and 4th down conversions. We have struggled immensely in those categories. The one thing I will say is that I'm curious if Savannah saw any fights in her section.
I sit in the Murph for a reason.
Yeah.
Nobody else is in there besides other coaches' families. I don't need to be a part of all that.
I mean, that was unreal. I mean, that was one of the weirdest viral videos I've seen all weekend. But yeah,
I mean, that girl got a mean left hook. I will say
she got a sweeping left hook. That's all I know. She took it out.
She got a mean left hook.
What's crazier is that my actual seats in the stadium are right by that.
So Savannah was this close to going viral for being
this close.
Yeah, she was this close.
No, I'm glad I wasn't close. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I love that. But yeah, it was one of those things. Definitely saw a ton of things to like on offense for sure. I mean, it was really good to see the younger guys starting to step up. Great to see Hollywood making big chunk plays. Good to see Noah, got credit for the big touchdown. I thought it was a great ruling. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it when it first came out, but I really thought it was by the book. It was what it was supposed to be. So he reestablished himself. He got the catch and got the touchdown. So congratulations for him as well on a huge week for him as well. So good to see those guys playing well.
The way that happened was the Syracuse player was right here. The sideline was right here. And the Syracuse player funneled Noah over around this way, had to go out of bounds, and he came back in.
Yep. So as long as you reestablish yourself, which I thought he did a good job on that, he got back in bounds quickly and was able to locate the football. I think those 2 things together were pretty incredible for him to be able to do that in real time. So, I mean, a lot of people don't really get to see a lot of that. You're just seeing what happens on TV, but I can tell you being there in real time, it's a lot different. Very tough to make that type of catch.
I I think everyone watching at home, they saw the place fall out. They're like, "Wait a minute, how did he get there?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say what a shot from CJ. Like that
Yeah.
was just
What a dart.
on the money type of play right there. And I give him credit, even though I was very critical with CJ after the game. I give him credit. That was a good play.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of things that I would call the freshman mistakes out of his system a little bit each and every week, and he just really starting to look like he's throwing the football at a much different level this time.
Yeah.
But it was something to build on, and that's the thing that we always talk about. You look forward to each and every week is something to build on, and they definitely can take a lot of things from this game and you take a lot of positives out of it. But it's one of those things like you said, clean up the mistakes, and we should be in a lot better position this week. But this week we travel to Berkeley. It's the first time the NC State's heading out that way. So back to Savannah's state. I know she's more of a Southern Cal girl, but we're going we gotta poke the bear this week because it's the first time that NC State's been out there. So that was ultimately the theme of our show this week, was to talk about Cal. So let's get into talking about Cal, and I'm gonna start with Colby. Colby, what's your first key this week? What do you think NC State has to do to clean up on to get better this week?
I would say Cal's defense is pretty good. They're relying on forcing turnovers, and NC State's offense has been very turnover prone. So we really just need to not turn the ball over. I mean, and we take away their best ability to stop us. Like that's their main thing for like their defense is they create a lot of turnovers. So we just gotta I feel like if we clean that up, do not turn over protect the ball and do not turn it over. I feel like we get a chance in this game because a lot of their offensive players are injured. They got a lot of injuries going on right now, and quite frankly, they got a problem with finishing games. They cannot finish to save their lives. And another thing that State can't do is finish either. So it's like
2 weeks. Yep.
It's the battle of the two teams who can't finish, and so it's gonna see we're gonna see who can finish. So
I love it.
We just better be the team that finishes, in my opinion. And to me, if you get this win, you don't turn the ball over. That's huge momentum going into the bye week.
Absolutely. So, well, Dean, I'm gonna let you. Since you're the special guest, what is your one key to the game that you think NC State needs to do to win this football game?
We simply have to stop their running game. Their running game is so stacked, especially running backs. I don't know if he's healthy, but running backs that have had viral songs made about them on the internet.
That's true.
I don't think he's healthy though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But they still got a good running back even when he's not healthy. Their running back is also really good. I will say I'm disappointed this episode isn't called Into the Calgorithm.
It was one of those things I caught the first picture this week was just randomly thrown out there. Shout out to Vishnu for doing it. But he sent me this photo of a NC State WholePack walking into the California Golden Bear den and just poking it. Like I was like, what are we doing this week, man? But yeah, the Calgorithm is real. There's no question about that. But
the funniest one is the wolf and the bear side by side, and they're both like they got signs. Like one says UNC is the worst, and the other says F Mac Brown.
That was the best one I think I've seen so far.
Yes.
This week. But yeah, Savannah, take us through what your key is this week that you want to see NC State do.
I just can't disagree with Colby. There's other keys, but that's really just the main one, in my opinion, is that if you don't turn over the ball, you typically win football games. So I'm hoping I'm not hoping. We will not turn over the ball unless we get a defensive turnover. That I'm manifesting also. I'm manifesting that we take the 3 turnovers that we had last week and we actually turn those into Cal turning over the ball with our defense out on the field. and that our offense will not be turning the ball over. I think that's pretty reasonable, and I think that there was probably an emphasis this week on practice and making sure that there's no turnovers in the red zone, especially. So that's definitely what I'd say.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Dean.
I will quote my former principal: "Growth mindset. We have not turned the ball over to Cal yet."
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. And also a little fun fact, their quarterback is known to turn the ball over as well. So that we got to take advantage of that.
Yep. So I'm gonna harken back to the days of old, I should say. Maybe it's gonna make me feel old now, but let's make sure that Marshawn Lynch doesn't get to ride the golf cart on the field this time. That's all I can say. No, but seriously, Mikey, Savannah's gonna love this, but I want to see us run the football more. I mean, I've literally been talking about that 2 weeks now, and what's so crazy is the statistics will tell you that we are running the football well, but we're just not running it often enough. And I think Syracuse did a great job last week of keeping it from us too for the first half, especially. But I think part of that is on us too. I mean, everybody's trying to say, we want to sling it all around and things, but I'd rather like to see us get Hollywood a little bit more involved and see Kendrick get more carries, just because those two guys can break it at any point. And I think that's going to be something that's super key. We talked about early in the podcast. Like, I want to see us control the time of possession, and I want to see us not turn the football over. So you guys hit the turnover part, and I'm going to hit the time of possession. Like, win the time of possession this week by controlling the clock and controlling the ball. So that was what I wanted to get out. But, we're going to show the Marshawn Lynch video a little bit later on. It's probably one of the funniest videos. And it's so weird because there's always something between Cal with people being on the field. You got the Stanford Cal
the marching band
being on the field.
And
then
the marching men on the field. Get them
and then you got Marshawn driving a golf cart around, It's like, what am I doing?
I'm not talented enough with video editing, but someone needs to take Marshawn Lynch, put the Tuffy head over it, and having the cart a W on it, and then riding into Cal, getting the W and riding out.
I will do you a solid this week. Yeah. It will happen, Dean. We'll just say that it will happen this week. So, I have just dived in, a little bit more into the video editing last week as we started getting a little bit more into it. So I'll get you that this week. So, but yeah, those were our 3 keys. So now we're going to hit our key players. This is like we always do. So Dean, I'm going to let you start out with us. Who do you think is going to be one key player this week for NC State that might make a difference in the game?
I will say Justin Jolie. When we feed him, good things happen. Feed the ball to Justin Jolie. If you do that, we will win games.
Free Granny.
So Colby, go ahead. Who's your guy this week, or unit? Well, you can go units too.
Well, Dean stole mine. Like I mean, I'm always gonna say my dog Justin Jolie. I mean, he doesn't get enough attention. He needs more attention. I mean, come on. If you keep giving him attention, the other guys are gonna get open.
Mind blown.
It's common. Yeah. Like it's common sense. But I just think Justin Jolie needs a little bit more touches. But the guy I'm really going after is, you know what? Since Tremarcus Cooley cannot play the first half, I'm going to go with Isaiah Correll.
Okay.
I need to see some physical play out of him. Yeah. I need to see some toughness. You bet, like you're playing for some playing time, basically.
Yeah.
Like, and you're getting this playing time because the starter, got ejected and can't play the first half. So I just want to see him go out there and play. I'm always a very fond person of the younger guys. I always like to see that some of these guys who don't get playing time, who actually are going to come out here and try to make plays because they care and they want to come out there and show that they can be starters too. And so, it's always about the little guy, like it's always about the little guy. And I'm, Isaiah Correll, I'm hoping that
I love it.
I hope he does good.
4 tackles in the second half for my guy. So
And a
shout
tackle
out
for
to him.
loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, if your number gets called, you got to respond.
Yep.
The main
Yep.
thing to remember is come rain or shine, ACC officials will always find a way to screw things up.
So, Savannah, who you got this week? Who are you going to be keying in on unit or player-wise this week?
Literally, Colby, I swear I'm not trying to copy you. Like, we are just on the same page because that's literally what I was going to say. I was going to say that in the sense, everything you said, and I'm like a big proprietor of like when you're an athlete and you wonder why you don't play. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're a true freshman, you don't play probably for several reasons. But when your number is called and it's your time to show up, this is either why you get to play and you earned your keep, or this is exactly why you don't play. Be the version of you that is, this is exactly why I deserve to play. That's just like my mindset and attitude in life. So in that regard, for like exactly what you said, like I just want him to be like, damn right, this is why I deserve to keep playing. So I'll always be like that next man up or near spot. So I really hope he shines. But yeah, I swear I'm not just piggybacking off of Colby. He just had great answers tonight, so I can't disagree.
You can't. So I'm gonna throw it to kind of follow your lead on that. I'm going with Bonner again. I really think he had a really solid game last week. We've been talking about, somebody taking ownership of that particular position too for a couple weeks now. And I really thought he kind of stepped up last week as well and showed that he was ready to play as well. And I think you're starting to see some of these younger players are hungry. They're hungry to get out there and they're hungry to play. And I'm seeing it each and every week. I mean, those are the things that we kind of saw this, even back to when Drake and Peyton first came through, on the linebacking core. Like they were really raw, but you could kind of see the talent was there from day one. And I kind of see that from some of these younger linebackers and some of these younger players that are getting their time, And I want to see that, even I can understand there's going to be some mistakes, especially as a fan, you understand you're not going to play perfect. But if you can see that they're making plays and they're actually playing a lot better than what they probably should be, then you got a spot. And, we went through the growing pains when Peyton and Drake were first coming up. And I think sometimes we're seeing that on the offense too now. You're starting to see these guys kind of come out of the growing pains and earning their keep. So I was going to go with Bonner this week and go from there. I really thought he played well, so I wanted to shout him out this week as well. So,
hey, Justin, would you say our young linebackers are hungry like the wolf?
You could say that. I mean, definitely Kamal played like he was hungry last week. And I'm going to be honest, Betty at middle linebacker shocked me last night. I really thought he played really good at middle linebacker. And it could be a situation, where you might have figured out a couple pieces. And that might help you out, for not only this year, but going into next year too, because Kamal's going to get some time now. So it's good to be able to see him step up and play, and good to see Betty play as well, because we've been on him for a couple weeks too, but he really started out last week. So good to see everybody kind of stepping up. So Hunter is not with us tonight. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend who does our 5 games for this week. But we are going to go talk about those this week. We are going to do the pick 'em. Hunter did pick up a game last week on us. I am still.
I think I did really good 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm
killing it.
Yeah, I'm shockingly not doing well at all right now.
I'm killing it.
Not doing good. So we will continue to keep it up, though. We got another really good slate of games again this week. I'm going to start with the one that I know Savannah's very favorite about, the Notre Dame Georgia Tech game. I know she wants to talk about that one first. So Notre Dame's going to be favored in this one. So who do you got this week?
I hate Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame for 1 year because I am a girl after all, and Sam Hartman did go there. But I am Notre Dame's biggest hater. It's like, you have to be, right? Because there's like the Mormon school, And then there's like the Catholic
The
school.
Catholic school.
You have to be a hater. We're not even haters like in real life, but it just feels like natural selection. You have to be a hater. So
Absolutely.
I also like if someone's gonna upset someone, I feel like Georgia Tech is kind of the Purdue of the ACC, where like they're gonna be the team that wins the game that you're like kind of like, oh wow, how'd they do that? So I'm gonna take Georgia Tech. It is also at Georgia Tech, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yeah.
Yep,
So
you are correct on that
yeah,
one.
I think they're gonna take this one.
Okay, so no echoes of Rudy coming out in the Georgia Tech for Notre Dame this week. Dean, go ahead and give us your thoughts on this one. Who do you think is going to be able to take this one? Notre Dame, Georgia Tech.
So I want to say Notre Dame because Notre Dame is always strong in the trenches, and that is what you got to be to win football games. But I can't pick against Georgia Tech. I just can't. Georgia Tech is a team that has that it factor, and I cannot pick against them.
Okay, I like it. So you like them outright as well? You like them just outright winning this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Colby, who you got this week in the Battle of the Golden Domers?
Notre Dame. Like, is it a question? Notre Dame.
He is going with Riley. I've got to make up some points from last week, so I've got to take Notre Dame in this one too. Riley Leonard looked really good last week as well. The Notre Dame offense started to come together a little bit, so I'm gonna go with the Irish this week on that one as well. So, and then another really good one that we got in the SEC. This time we're going to head back to our old opponent, Tennessee and Bama. So this one's going to be another tough one. So I'm going to let Savannah take this one to start out with. Who do you got this week between Tide or Tennessee?
I'm unfortunately having to root for the fake UT and their fake orange. I think that this is Nico's game, that he's either the real deal or he's not the real deal. If Nico wins this game, he's the real deal. If he doesn't win this game, he's not the real deal. And that's fine. He's got time to become the real deal, but this is his make or break game. He has to win this one. I hate pulling against Bama. I really have a lot of strong family, personal ties to their coaching staff. I love them. But I also want Tennessee to look like the best team that ever played this season since they beat us. So I'm going with Tennessee. Plus, it's at their place. They have definite home field advantage at Tennessee. So I'm going with Tennessee.
Absolutely. Colby, who you got this week?
Bama.
By a lot or by none or by a little?
I mean, it will be a close game, but I just got Bama money line.
All right. Dean, who you got this week? Who you taking?
I will say, Rocky Top, you always be home, sweet home to me. Give me Alabama! I think this will be a Jalen Milroe legacy game.
I'm also rolling with the Tide. I'm not going to lie this week. Again, I got to make up some points, but I do think Jaden does have a really good week this week. So give me the Tide on that one. This is another good one in the SEC too. Well, it's hard to say SEC now with Texas and Georgia, but I think this is going to be a real test for Texas this week. So Dean, who do you got this week? I'm going to let you start out.
Well, things ironically played themselves out since Quinn Ewers was a sheriff deputy in the Dr. Pepper Fansville commercial. And I think Deputy Ewers will lock down the Bulldogs and UT will get the win.
He's going horns up this week. Colby, who you going with this week? He's going horns down this week. I like
Go Georgia. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Savannah, who you got this week?
I could never root against the real UT. My horns are definitely up. So, yeah, definitely. I'm like, go Pack. Wait, no, go hook 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Texas is the real deal. Sark's one of my favorite coaches in the ACC. In fact, this is a bold statement. I think if he didn't have his little personal issues, he could have easily become the next Nick Saban. I genuinely think that highly of him as a coach. And I just think, I know that this has been said, but at some point when you got a team that has 8 arrests since January, you got a culture problem. And you can't win big games with a culture problem. So for me, that's why I don't see Georgia winning this.
All right. I gotta pick against Colby this week, so give me Texas as well this week because I gotta make up some time on him this week too. So give me give me Texas. I'm gonna take them this week. So give me them. Indiana, Nebraska is the next one. We got the Midwest game of the week out there. So two teams that before the season we probably really weren't going to talk much about, but wanted to give them a little bit of love this week. So Colby, I'm gonna let you take Indiana, Nebraska first.
Give me the Hoosiers.
I like it. So he's going from football school to basketball school back to being a football school now.
Is it forks up? Is it like did they do this? Forks up?
I don't know what they do. I know Arizona State got their little pitchfork deal, but but Dean, who are you taking this week? Are you going to go with the former Carolina Panthers coach, or are you going to go the other way this week?
I will say I think mini Patrick Mahomes will make this interesting, but at the end of the day, Kurt Cignetti is a winner, and Indiana is moving to 7-0 on the year.
I like it. Savannah, who you got this week?
Apparently, Colby and I are on the same page about everything NC State, but not our picks for the week.
Yes.
So it only feels right at this point that I have to pick Nebraska just out of sheer he picked Indiana, right? But no, actually, a good friend of mine that I work out with at the gym, he went to Nebraska. We were talking about the game this morning when I was there. I don't know who Indiana's played. I have watched Nebraska games. Look, I don't think Nebraska is Ndamukong Suh back, but I think that their trajectory is going up. So I'm taking Nebraska.
Awesome. I'm right there with you. I am going with the fighting Matt Rule. So give me them this week again to get the win. So I do like what Cignetti's doing, but I still got to take my guy that, ultimately got us the number one pick in the draft. So, that's what I'm go with. Give me them this week. So, and then last but not least, which we can wrap it up and do our score predictions with this one too. We're going to be doing NC State and Cal. Colby, go ahead and do your predictions for this week as well. NC State, Cal.
What the heart wants or what the mind's telling me, turns out the heart and the mind are on the same page. It's NC State 35, Cal 21.
I like it. Dean, who you got this week?
Well, they like to say, let the whole dang world know it's bear territory, but on Saturday it'll be WholePack country. Give me the pack.
I like it. And then Savannah, who you going to take in this one? I know you don't do predictions, but scores, but who you got this week?
Cal will never be as bad as Stanford, but at the end of the day, they're both in Northern California, and that is about as gross as it gets. Pass all day, every day. So, yeah.
So I'm definitely cannot take Cal for any reason. I mean, the whole show is called Poking the Bear for a reason. So I think NC State does go into the Bears' den. They do a lot of poking around, but I also think they end up getting a lot of touchdowns as well this week. So give me NC State again. Colby always decides to take mine, but I'm going to go 35-17 because I think the defense does get it done this week. So for all of us, though, we appreciate y'all joining the show. We always enjoy this. This is a super fun time for all of us each and every week. We hope you guys got something good to take home and to take out of this. So we look forward to doing these each and every week. Hunter's going to be back again next week. We also have some special plans for you guys for the Duke game as well. The plan right now is to have the entire team together for that game as well. So we look forward to doing a little bit of special things for y'all for that week as well. But enjoy the week that is of college football. Enjoy watching NC State do their thing again in California. And we hope to see you guys again next week. Make sure you give us a like and follow as well on all of our social medias as well. We've all got all those up as well. So we appreciate y'all joining though. Thanks again for all y'all joining too. So have a great week. Colby, take us away. You know what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. We always end with me. It always ends with me. Always ends with me. Let's go, Pack. Beat the Bears. The Bears. Let's go.